I just want to say I'm sorry if the lighting keeps changing in this video, or if you can hear trains, like what's going past now, or wind, or birds, or anything like that. I'm sat in front of a gigantic window right now because I want to film this video and I thought I'd use natural light, and the sun keeps going in and out of clouds, and like I said, trains keep going past and stuff, but I need the window open because when I talk about personal stuff I get really like clammy, so I need the window open. Basically, my friend Alexa did a video like this. I think in the past she's got a lot of unnecessary hate or a lot of questions constantly that she's never answered, and I feel like we're kind of the same when it comes to that. A lot of people ask me questions all the time. It's the same question over and over again. Every time I post an Instagram picture it just gets flooded with questions, and it's got to the point where I'm just a bit like, I don't want to keep things in anymore. I would rather you just like know things, then hopefully that can stop and you can get back to liking me if you don't like me now for whatever reason. Just wanted to have a bit of a heart-to-heart with you guys because I feel like right now I'm kind of being portrayed in a way that isn't who I am, and I just wanted to say a massive sorry to anybody who I've ever offended. If I've said one comment that's really offended you, or if I continue to say things that really offends you, I'm really sorry about it. I've seen a lot of things online, like I get a lot of tweets and stuff with screenshots from tweets and Instagrams and things that I posted 2 years ago when I was 18 and I didn't know how the internet worked, and I had a lot of strong opinions, probably more strong than I do now, and I was so unhappy within myself that I was so miserable, and all of my tweets were like down and depressive and not very nice to read. And some people have screenshotted things from back in those days, like 2 years ago or even a year ago now, when I just wasn't in a happy place at all, and I think that they kind of get thrown around and used to portray the person that I am today, and I'm not the same person. If you look back at yourself 2 years ago or even 6 months ago, you'd probably be like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? What was I wearing? That's the same for me, except for I'm kind of living out my mistakes online and living out my changes online. It's kind of upsetting to think that people judge me nowadays for the person I was 2 years ago, because I'm just not the same person, just like you're not the same person that you was 2 years ago. I've grown up a lot. I now know how to word my opinions in a way that aren't gonna offend people. At least I hope so, but I am still going to muck up sometimes because I'm just a human. I'm 21, I don't have like 40 years of wisdom on my shoulders as much as I would like it. I'm still new to YouTube. I've been doing it for 2 years and my channel's only really been big for, I'd say, like half a year to a year, and it's a lot to take in when you suddenly become a role model to people. That to me is still really strange to say because I'm just a girl and I know that I'm just a person just like everybody else, and I think some things that I might say or have said in the past kind of reflect the fact that I'm just a girl who mucks up sometimes and gets things wrong and makes mistakes. But now I'm trying to adjust to the fact that I probably can't always say what I want to say because people might take it the wrong way even if it's not intended to be that way. So I'm trying to be a lot happier, and I am a lot happier in myself right now than I was back then. I go through ups and downs with my happiness, to be honest, just like everybody else does, and I think sometimes maybe when I'm having a down day or a down month or a down week, I think I maybe share a bit too much online as it is right now. So I'm trying to kind of pull myself back and realise that some people do look up to me, which is mind-boggling to me still, but some people do, and I am now, I guess, kind of a role model or somebody who is not seen as normal, even though I still see myself as incredibly normal. I feel like I've just got lucky with my YouTube channel, and I'm so lucky to live where I live and have the life that I do have, but at the end of the day I'm still just me. I'm still a human. I still have feelings, I still have emotions, I still have down times, I still have really happy times, and I'm trying to control that, and I'm trying to control things that I say and things that I do on the internet and kind of keep it more private, because I do want to have a private life. Everybody's entitled to have a private life. But anyway, I'm going off topic now. I just wanted to say sorry. If I've ever offended you for anything that I've said, I am trying to better myself, just like you guys are probably all trying to better yourself as well, because that's what we do in life. We live and learn. This is just my time to say sorry for that. If I do things in the future that offend you, I'm sorry for that as well, but like I said, I'm just a human. I'm trying to learn how to be me. I would just really appreciate it if things from years and years ago could not be associated with the person that I am today. Obviously I am the same person who made mistakes 2 years ago, but at the same time I'm really not the same person at all. Another thing that I wanted to just touch on was blocking people. Obviously I think I am known as the blocker, the one who blocks people. I don't do that to be mean. I don't do that to be malicious in any way. People have kind of made up the fact that I block my viewers and my fans. I hate the word fans, but that's what they say. You block your fans, and I'm just like, no. I only block people who I see to be really, really mean and rude to me. If that was in person, if somebody came up and called me to my face like a fat slag, like I've been called in the past, I would walk away from it and I would never talk to that person again. And when people say it online, me blocking people is kind of me walking away from the situation. I'm just a human. I don't want to read horrible things all the time, because it's not nice to read horrible things all the time. So me blocking people is kind of me being like, please just keep that over there and I will stay over here in my little corner. I was bullied when I was younger for about 12 years, since I was like 7 to when I left high school, so like 10 years. And I went through a bit of bullying in college as well. And some things that people say to me online are what people said to me when I was bullied. And I always say to myself, if anybody ever treated, whatever the word is, if anybody treated me the way that I was treated back then, I would just ignore it, walk away from it, because I was in a really dark place when I was bullied. And I've never really said this before, and I don't want to get like emotional about it, but I was in a really, really dark place. I didn't want to be on this planet, and there are a lot of things that I think maybe people don't know how extreme it was. But things that people say to me now are a lot of the things that were said to me back then, and I don't want to go back to the place that I was back then, so I block them. I'm just like, that's me just walking away, and kind of like, I don't want to read that, because I don't want to be as unhappy as I was back then. If you think I've unnecessarily blocked you, please can you leave your Twitter below. I will make it my aim to go through it and try and unblock people. Nowadays I'm just kind of trying to ignore it, or just mute the person instead so I don't have to see it. I like that mute button. That was a good feature on Twitter. But I am sorry to anybody who's been offended by me blocking them, but it is probably because I've been offended by what you've said. I understand as well that a lot of the things that I say get very misinterpreted online in a way that I do not mean it whatsoever, and I think maybe I misinterpret a few things that people say to me in a bad way, when maybe they're just trying to help out or give me constructive criticism, but to me it might be worded in a way that is not constructive at all. It's just plain mean, but maybe you don't mean it in that way, and that's been misinterpreted as well on my behalf, so I'm sorry about that if that is what has happened. The internet is a very strange place for things like this. Things can get taken out of hand so quickly. But I'm going to jump into the questions now, because I do have quite a few questions. What happened between you and Alfie? As you might have seen, we have differing views on the app that is called Vessel. I really don't like it. I'm very against it. I don't think it's a good thing to do. I I just don't like it. If you want to know what vessel is, you can Google it. And basically myself and Alfie had a bit of a disagreement on Twitter, and people have blown that so out of proportion. We don't hate each other, at least from my end. I don't hate him. We just had a disagreement, that's all. Everybody has disagreements. I might have a disagreement about somebody about the kind of lipstick that they're wearing or the kind of eyeshadow. I might not like it, they might like it. It's literally that. I don't like Vessel. He maybe likes it, maybe doesn't, I don't even know, to be honest, but we are not these enemies that everybody is saying that we are. It's kind of got ridiculous now. It was just a disagreement, just like you disagree with your family and friends sometimes. That's just a part of life. Not everybody's going to have the same opinion on something, and that's completely okay. It's okay to have your own opinion. To spam my pictures and my Twitter constantly and my videos with, oh my god, you were so mean to Alfie, what's happened to you and Alfie, what's stuff like that. It's just a bit like, people have blown it so out of proportion. It was not an argument. None of us were being mean to each other. It was just a disagreement, which everybody has, and I would just please like it if that could just be forgotten and ignored after this video, because it's so irrelevant to anything in my life and in your lives, and yeah, that's that. And another question that I get asked constantly is, what happened with you and Zoey? Did you have a falling out or something, or did you just grow apart? This is a tricky one because I don't think there's been anything definitive, is that the right word? Anything like definitive, I think that's the right word, that has happened between myself and Zoey. There's not been a massive argument or like a massive this or that. I think sometimes people just grow apart, and that is what happens. I think part of it is down to the fact that I've tweeted things in the past that are not about Zoey and Alfie, and viewers have kind of made them about Zoey and Alfie, which is not cool at all, because like I genuinely didn't mean it about them too. So I think that's kind of one thing that started to piss me off a bit, because I was saying things and then people were like, oh my god, you are shading Zoey, you're shading Zoey, and I was just sat there like, that is not about Zoey, like it's not. And I think that on my behalf that kind of maybe made me distance a bit from Zoey, because I was getting so much hate and stuff for things that weren't even about Zoey. So I think I maybe kind of distanced myself a little bit to try and get away from that, and to try and get it so I could say things again without it being me shading people or being mean to people when it definitely wasn't. To be honest, I'm quite upset about mine and Zoey's friendship, because we were so close at one point, like so close. I don't want to get emotional, but we were really close, and I classed her as my absolute best friend. She was the first person that welcomed me, not only to Brighton, but to in the life, because I didn't have friends really up until I met Zoey, because I was really bullied and I just didn't have friends. So she was the first person who kind of welcomed me into her life, and we got really close friends, and if you watch the vlogs back you'll see that we just got on really well. And I think part of the reason why we're maybe not so close now is probably my fault. And do you know what, it's not nice to admit that you're probably the reason that a friendship's ended, and it's not nice to even say that, because I never meant for it to end. I was having probably the best time I'd ever had in my life, like last July and August when I moved to Brighton, with Zoey and with Alfie, to be honest, and I felt like I finally like belonged and I had a best friend. And you'll see that if you watch Zoey's vlogs around that time, or if you watched my vlogs. But then it got to the point where people started saying that I was using her, and that is not what I wanted at all. I never wanted to use Zoey. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but I never asked to be in a video. I I'm like extremely grateful that I was in her videos, because we were really good friends. That's why we did videos. We were really good friends, and I never asked to be in them. I never like set out as, oh my god, Zoe's got this many subscribers, let's get in her videos so that I can get that many subscribers. That is not that is not what it was at all. I was just so grateful to have a friend, and when people started saying that I was using her and all I wanted was subscribers, that affected me so much, because I was just there like, that's not what I want at all. I just want her friendship. That kind of made me think that Zoe thought that about me, because so many people were saying it, that because all of a sudden I'd just come out of nowhere into all of Zoe's videos. So on all of her vlogs, I think she was daily vlogging for a month, I would just get slated and slated on my videos because I was this random person who wasn't part of Gleam and who'd just become friends with Zoe. So people thought that it must be like a work thing, or that I was using her, or they made silly things up like Zoe was being paid to be my friend, and that upset me a lot more than I probably said at the time. That was really upsetting to me, because I'd actually got a best friend for once in my life, and I felt like all I was getting from people was just hate for it, and that's not nice at all. So I think I kind of distanced myself a bit from Zoe, and there were a lot of things really that kind of maybe made me distance myself a bit, and it got to the point where I didn't want to be in Zoe's videos. I kind of asked not to be in them because of what people were saying, and that again made me distance myself, because I knew that she was daily vlogging and I didn't want to be in them. And then it got to a point where I just felt like I couldn't be myself anymore, because people seemed to just hate me for being myself. So I went through a really down time about it, which I've not really ever said. I was really down about it. Last October, November time, I went through just a time where I was just so down. I didn't want to be on YouTube anymore. I didn't want to have all these people attacking me for just me being me. And I think it just got to a point where it was probably all my fault. I just distanced myself too much, and then sometimes friendships are hard to get back when you've done that. But I still love Zoe so much. I get really emotional about it, because I just wish that we could go back to before all the hate started, because that was honestly probably the happiest time in my life. When I just moved to Brighton, I felt so like free, and that I could have so many new friends and stuff. And then all that happened, and it made me become kind of a recluse from everything and everyone. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to see anybody, just in case people thought I was using them. I didn't want to be seen to even talk to any YouTubers on Twitter in case people thought I was using them. And it just got a bit like I just didn't want to be on YouTube anymore. I didn't want all this hate, because I never asked for it. I mean, nobody asks for hate, but I was just making my videos in my bedroom and being so happy doing that, and then all of a sudden I was like the most hated person. And it did ruin a friendship, and it is a friendship that I just wish I could get back. And Zoe, I don't even know if you're watching this, but yeah, I do miss you, and I'm sorry again for distancing myself and maybe not being the best friend at times, and not being open about things and how I was feeling, and for keeping it all in, and then it just all bottled up, and I'm sorry for that. And that is, I guess, what happened between me and Zoe. And this video is an honesty video, and I kind of feel a bit weird talking about it, because obviously it's a personal thing and it's a personal friendship, but I just want you to know that I do miss that friendship, and it probably was my fault, but not for the reasons that people say, not for the using reasons and stuff. It was the fact that I just I could not deal with the hate for having a friendship. I think I got a bit paranoid as well about everything, and that's why yeah, it was just a really dark time for me, to be honest, last October, November time, but now I'm in a much happier place, and yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next question. How are you, honestly? I feel like people don't ask that question enough, and I actually care about the answer. I'm okay. I have suffered with depression in the past, and I think sometimes it's quite easy for me to go back into that place, and I try and stop it as much as I can, like I've said, by blocking it out, which is not really the best way to go about it, but that's kind of just my way of dealing with when I feel like I'm gonna go back into being depressed, because I don't want that in my life. I think I just don't want it. It's not something that I want in my life anymore. I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to do things to make myself happy and not try and please others, and I'm a lot happier, and I'm so lucky to live where I live and to have all the opportunities that I have. But sometimes I do have down times, but when those times happen now, I'm just going to try and stay off the internet for a bit and not worry too much about getting videos up when I'm not 100% happy, because I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to do things and to push through it, and then it makes me a lot worse, and then I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to see anyone, I don't want to go out, and then that's when hate really does affect me. So I'm trying not to get back in that state. I'm trying to be happy and healthy. Yeah, I just want to lead a healthy lifestyle and be happy with what I do again, because to be honest, I wasn't happy with YouTube for ages. I think since about last October to maybe a couple of weeks ago, I've not been happy with it. I don't feel like I've been doing videos that I've wanted to do. I've just been making videos just for the sake of making videos and trying to get 2 up every single week and putting all this pressure on myself and trying to do vlogs at the same time, and then there was my blog for a bit, and then I'm just trying to be calm about life now, not put stress on myself, not really pre-film videos, just do videos when I'm like happy and want to do them, and to love what I do again, which I feel like after this video I really am, because I think it's been all these things that I've wanted to say that have kind of stopped me from enjoying what I was doing. So that's how I am right now. I'm okay. Yeah. Are you honestly happy being single, or do you feel like you need a partner? I am completely happy being single. I've been with a couple of people in the past, but I'm definitely happy being single. To be honest, I think I've got to the point where I need to be happy in myself before I get into another relationship. So I'm working on that before I try to meet someone or meet someone. I don't think I let myself be open enough to meet anybody right now. I would like to meet somebody, I just would like to be happy first. Do you feel insecure about anything at the moment? Yes. I am a very insecure person, honestly. I know I might seem confident on Twitter or on Instagram, but I'm not. I'm just a human. I am insecure about so many things, and when they get pointed out 24/7 as well, it doesn't really make it better. But yeah, I'm a very insecure person. I try and act my way through it and act like I'm not, which is hard. I would rather appear to be happy than be how I am when I'm not on camera, which is very hung up about things that I'm not happy about. So yeah, I'm very insecure. Have you ever fancied Hobby Stewart? Now I'm answering this because it got a lot of favourites and retweets. Hey Hobbs, if you're watching. Hobby is a very good looking chap. Yeah, he's a very good looking guy, there's no denying it. He's so nice as well. He's like one of the best people that I know. I'm so lucky to have him in my life. I love him so much, and I'm gonna get emotional. Yeah, no, I don't fancy Hobby. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. No, I don't. He's a very good looking guy, and when I first met him, I was in the dark place that I was in. I met him around October, I think, or maybe November. But I was in a really unhappy place, and he was the person to kind of drag me out of that place. And I think that I owe him a lot, like a lot, that he probably doesn't realise. But I definitely owe him a lot. I owe him a lot of my happiness, to be honest. He's always there for me. He's always the person who just wants to know how I am all the time and make sure that I'm okay, and I appreciate him so much. I think I was very confused in myself as well when I first met him, and I thought, to be honest, if I'm going to be completely honest, this is an honesty video, I thought that he didn't want to meet me to be friends, if you know what I mean. Sorry, hobby, for misjudging you. But I did think that. I was like, why does this hot guy want to talk to me? So yeah, I did think that he didn't want friendship out of it. Yeah, sorry Hobbs again. And I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. All your gobby brains are gonna go cray. But yeah, I think like the second time we met, I think I kissed him. And then I was just like, no. No, this is not what I want. We are friends. I don't want this. Not that he wanted that either. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we're friends. I don't fancy him. I was very confused with myself at the time when I met him and very unhappy, and he dragged me out of that. And to be fair, Hobby knows more about me than probably anybody else, and he's so supportive of who I am, and yeah, I just love him to bits. I love him. Love you, Hobbs. Okay, get happier, don't cry again. This has been a bit of a whirlwind video. I think I've covered most things that people ask me about, and I'm sorry if it was super duper long, but I hope this has maybe made you think twice about me, or about people who you might be being mean to, or the fact that people change. And like I said, I would appreciate it so much if things that I've said in the past cannot be held against me now, because I'm not that person anymore. When I get down, I feel like I turn into a completely different person who is just upset at the world and angry at everybody, and says things but they get taken the wrong way, and I don't mean it to be mean. And yeah, I just honestly want to apologise to everybody who I've said something to, maybe in a harsh way or in a blunt way, and I've upset, or just everybody who's ever felt offended. Put your hands up if you've ever felt personally victimised by Regina George. No, but seriously, I'm really sorry. And this was kind of a hard video for me to do, but I felt like I needed to do it to clear some stuff up, and hopefully from now on I will be a lot happier and more myself on this channel. I'm going to make it a bid to be more honest and more open and more myself, and I hope that you like that, and I just want to thank you for sticking with me. I love you more than you'll know, and yeah, thank you. I'm gonna go now. Now I don't know how to end it. I will see you in my next video. Bye!